And you're very welcome to the Mardyke in Cork. This is day 2 of IP20 series of games between all 4 provincial sides. John Kenny, Craig Senior and Stephen Alkin together here at the Mardyke for this second day of action. The first match we've got is the Warriors against Lightning. Warriors winning yesterday. Lightning looking to play catch-up, having lost their game, their opening match against the Knights. So let's go and find out what conditions are like in the middle. And the toss and join, Craig Senior.
Well, good morning and welcome to the middle, where we're here for the toss. We're joined today by Graham McCrae, the match referee, Tim Tector, the captain of the Leinster Lightning, and Shane Getgate, the captain of the Northwest Warriors. I believe, Tim, you have the coin, if you'd like to toss that up.
Heads. Yeah.
Well, you've won the toss, and you've decided to have a bowl. Any particular reason for that?
Yeah, just conditions today, a bit cloudy overhead. I'm looking at how the pitch played yesterday. It seems to be a bit bowler friendly early on in the day, so hopefully make the most of that early on.
And any changes to the team?
Yeah, Fionn Hand comes in and Mikey O'Reilly comes in, and Ruben Wilson and Joey Carroll aren't in today.
Grand. Well, the very best of luck.
Thanks,
Thank you very much, Tim. Well, Shane, lost the toss this time.
Yeah, it's the first toss I've lost it, and just so far as standing skipper. So, but no, we would have probably done the same. We would have had a ball. Seemed to work well for us yesterday, and a little bit overcast this morning. But we're happy to do a job, get stuck in with the bat, and hopefully put a good total on the board.
And team unchanged?
Team unchanged, yeah, same team as yesterday.
Don't change a winning team.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the very best of luck today, and hopefully not winning the toss isn't too much of an omen ahead.
Fingers crossed.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So with the toss won, the Leinster Lightning have won the toss, and they have decided to bowl, and we'll head back to the sidelines now to John Kenny and Stephen Alkin.
Thanks very much, Craig. The bell has rung in the distance, and a very different day to yesterday. Very warm conditions when we arrived at the ground today. It's a little cooler. Jackets are required for those sitting in the commentary box now. A bit of wind blowing across the ground, and there's clouds overhead. Beautiful day yesterday. Hopefully we can get those clouds pushed aside. And as you can see, Leinster getting ready to come onto the pitch. Our 2 umpires today, Sam Hollingshead from Bristol, who's over here on an exchange for this day game, and Aidan Seaver. Paul Reynolds is our 3rd umpire. Warriors unchanged from the side that won yesterday against the Munster Reds. Lightning have made a couple of changes, brought the Irish international Fionn Hand, who earned his first test cap the other day against England at Lords. He's in, and Mikey O'Reilly. Alongside me is Stephen Alkin for the first few overs. Big game this one for the Lightning.
Yeah, very big game indeed. And yesterday they probably let themselves down a little. Wouldn't have been too happy with their performance. The batting, well, they lost too many early wickets, didn't they? Chasing that huge total of 236 for 3 scored by the Northern Knights, who pummeled the Lightning bowling to all parts of the ground. And apart from Barry McCarthy, none of the bowlers was able to keep the runs per over below 10. So they'll be hoping for more from McCarthy today, who's going to open, coming down the hill with the wind, and of course bringing in O'Reilly and Hand will certainly strengthen their attack. So we're about to start.
Yeah, first ball of day 2. Irish international Barry McCarthy, coming back from injury, working on his fitness all the time ahead of the World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe. Bowls to Donny. Can be a bit erratic in the past, and certainly has become a better bowler down the years as Barry McCarthy. Better line and length, but he is a wicket taker.
Yeah, McCarthy showed great pace yesterday. He bowled a few from the far end, the Mardyke walk end, and then switched for his final over to the Sunday's well end. But certainly he's quick coming down that hill with the wind behind.
Well bowled.
Nice bit of movement there.
Just a little low for wicketkeeper Mark Donegan. Batted really well yesterday. Donegan. 2 openers here today, Stephen Doherty and Aaron Gillespie. They certainly have 2 contrasting games yesterday, wasn't it? The Munster Reds didn't get up to much yesterday, 120 all out. And the second game, well, it was just the runs were piled on by the Knights as well. So 2 completely contrasting games.
Shane Getgate was very brave to put the Munster Reds in on a very sunny day. It looked like it was a good pitch, but he thought his team was best batting second, and it proved that way.
A couple of decent deliveries there. One kept low, previous one, that one a little uppish. Applause around the ground from the Leinster Lightning, all bedecked in their blue. It's like changing colours this year for the Warriors. They used to wear red. They've gone to this green top with blue slacks, dark blue slacks. You were having a word with Sam Hollingsworth, or Hollingshead, I should say, the umpire from Bristol. He's over here working on this game. It's good to see.
It's wonderful. He really enjoys the fact that he's coming to umpire in a completely different arena, different players, no preconceived notions or any such thing.
A ball again.
That's good play from, really good bowling from McCarthy, making it difficult for Doheny to get near it.
But he's from Bristol, and he umpires in a slightly different form of the game to us, doesn't he?
He's involved in the county second 11s, which he reckons is a very similar standard to this. And of course he knows some of the Irish boys who play at that level across the water. But yeah, he's really enjoying his time here in Cork. Nice 4-day furlough for
all
an
of us.
umpire.
Sun just trying to peek through. Hopefully they'll burn off the clouds. There's their first run. Up on his toes, works around the corner. And a single to Stephen Doheny gets the Warriors off the mark. He was saying yesterday to you, wasn't he, one moment where he perhaps could have given a wide, didn't, and whatever. What was the criteria there? It was slightly different regulations, you were saying?
Yes, different regulations that he works under in England to those that he has to follow here in the ICC. And there was one, he said, well, maybe I should have given a wide to a ball that went quite high over the batsman's shoulder, but slightly different regulations over there. But he's quite comfortable and he's very happy to be here, learning new skills. Great delivery.
Yep, beats the outside of Gillespie's bat. That ends the first over. Nice one from McCarthy, just a one from it. One for none at the end of one.
Very good start from McCarthy and a very conventional field from Tim Tector, the captain of the Lightning today. He just had the two men out. Power play for the first 6 overs, of course. There was a third man and a deep square leg. And a great chance here for Mikey O'Reilly to stake a claim in this T20 side at the start of this Rario interprovincial campaign. O'Reilly brought into the side today, pacey bowler. Son of a famous father, of course, John, who you know well. Peter O'Reilly, former Ireland international.
It's a family affair, really, isn't it?
Left arm over the wicket, and he'll be bowling to Doheny, who has kept the strike with that single off the last ball of the previous over.
Still quite cool and windy here.
Very different conditions for batting. This wicket could be a little bit more lively. Maybe we might see some swing with the cloud cover this morning. And it's at least 5 degrees cooler, that's for sure.
Oh, if not more. It is a little cooler. The conditions might be as easy today for batting. Obviously winning the toss today and putting the Warriors in. You'd have done that yourself, Stephen?
Probably. Though that's beyond my station. Last time I captained a team was
when I was playing with you.
Long ago.
I think I was
a
playing
very
with
long
you.
time ago.
Maccabi seconds. Great days, though.
Oh, kept low, that one.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen that one keep low. Happened a couple of times yesterday as well. Sometimes the ball would rear up with the batsman. That one kept low.
There is variable bounce in this wicket. It looks like it's the same strip that we used yesterday. So the third match on it might be a little bit of wear and tear after 75 overs of use yesterday and this game today.
Up on his toes, punches that into the leg side. We're in the power play. First 6 overs are power play, so Lightning only allowed the 2 men outside the circle, so we've got a sweeper on both sides, leg and off. Pretty conventional field.
No slip for O'Reilly though, so an extra player in the ring. Mikey O'Reilly, who was left out yesterday, and the addition of himself and Fionn Hand will add a lot of strength to the Lightning attack. That one hit
up. Beautifully played, straight down the ground. Show the full face of the bat to that. That's the first boundary of the morning. And West Warriors, Stephen Doheney and Aaron Gillespie trying now to build this platform for Mr. Work, but that was a lovely shot.
Not much power in this shot, all timing, just lent into the stroke. A little bit uppish, but well away from any fielder's hand. Very good shot.
I'm searching for that. Good reply from Mikey O'Reilly, having been hit down the ground for 4.
I like the introduction of the left arm seamer. It really does help the variety in the Lightning attack, bowling across the right hander. And he's pacey, but very much bowling. In fact, the wind is, if anything, turning as we look at the flags over near the pavilion. Perhaps helping O'Reilly now. Oh, that's up in the air, but away from the in-rushing Gavin Hoey. A very good over from O'Reilly, following up the first from McCarthy. And that's a very good start for the Lightning.
5 off it. Second over down. And they're 6 without a loss.
Yesterday, Reuben Wilson and Joey Carroll were quite expensive. They are the 2 who have been left out today by Leinster Lightning. Northwest Warriors, well, they had to chase yesterday a very small total, which they got with ease. How will they fare batting first?
And it's going to go all the way down towards us now. 4 runs just clipped off the pad and now towards us in the second boundary of the morning. That was a gift.
You can't stray down the leg side in this form of cricket. Expect to be punished. First poor delivery from McCarthy, really. And that's mana to a player of Doheney's class. He moves to 6.
A bit of an old charge. Swing and a miss. McCarthy saw him coming, bowled it slightly wider than the batsman was anticipating. As well bowled. Good comeback.
A premeditated move by Doheney. He was coming down the wicket even before the ball was bowled, and McCarthy has that ability to just drop it in a little bit shorter. Good intent from the batsman, though, who doesn't want to get bogged down. Just 6 off his first 10 deliveries. Couple of players at point and just backward point saving the single, and that was good fielding from Adam Rossley coming in quickly. Fresh morning, the kind of weather we expect in Cork, unlike yesterday, which was more like being on the Med. There's a definite change in the wind direction. Yesterday it was coming behind McCarthy from the left. Now it's more crosswind. McCarthy's looking quick, isn't he?
Yeah, he's working his way back from injury. He wasn't involved in the test last week. Actually, it met him outside the ground. He's obviously trying to work through that problem of injuries that he's had off and on for the last couple of years, and get himself completely fit for the games against the UAE et al. At the World Cup qualifiers later this month. He and Fionn Hand, part of the Irish setup. Hand starting the game today, McCarthy starting as well. But a lot of the internationals that we would normally see, the likes of Harry Tector, are not here for the next couple of days.
Nice simple shot there from Doheny. Just soft hands down to third man for a simple single. Warriors will want to keep the score ticking along without losing early wickets. Seems the key to getting a big score in T20. Have plenty of wickets in hand.
That's well bowled indeed, is the cry around the ground. That ends the third over. 11 without loss.
A good start for both sides in their own way. Warriors probably happy that they still have the openers together after 3 overs. Lightning will be pleased that they've restricted them to just 11 runs in those opening 3 halfway through the power play. And of course the temptation for batters in the opening 6 overs is to hit lots of aerial stuff to get quick runs, while the fielding side is restricted to just 2 on the boundary.
Here's one of 2 changes today. Fionn Hand and Mikey O'Reilly left hand quick. Ooh, that didn't miss by much. Batsman knew it too, goes down on his hunkers. And head and hands time for Mikey O'Reilly. That was close.
Yeah, that was a really good delivery. Couldn't have missed the stumps by more than a whisker. And O'Reilly certainly encouraged by his opening 7 deliveries. Looking every bit as quick as McCarthy from the other end. Charge,
and well, fortunate. It flew off the outside edge for 4 runs, but fortune favours the brave, I suppose. Slash hard. And it's gone all the way to the boundary from Gillespie. He premeditated shot dancing down the track.
Yeah, good effort this from Doheny, but the bowler again encouraged because he's found the edge of the bat, although it was quite a wide delivery. But you'll see lots of shots like that in T20.
Nicely clipped off the legs by Gillespie. They might go for the second here. Nope. Good fielding out on that far side, reduces the possible 2 to 1.
Yeah, good comeback there from O'Reilly. First delivery was a bit wide of the off stump. That time he was much more accurate. Brings Gillespie on strike now. Hasn't had much of the strike so far.
Again, the sun trying to peek through. Just above our heads we can see there's a little split in the clouds. Hopefully the clouds will be burnt off by the sun and get ourselves a nice afternoon. Wind is blowing across the ground, as we can see from, well, feel from our vantage point, from right to left, and that's helping Riley swing it away from the right-hander.
See, immediately after the Lightning's defeat yesterday, O'Reilly was doing some warm-ups, and when we arrived at the ground an hour before today, it was quite clear that he'd be in the starting 11.
Charge again by Gillespie this time. Good take by Dugan.
Yeah, Mark Donegan, he was one of the stars yesterday for the Lightning in defeat, scoring 58 against the Northern Knights in that run chase that fell well short.
Apologies, it is Dugan, of course, or Donegan, not Dugan. Yeah, kept well yesterday and also batted extremely well in a losing cause. That's in the air again, slashed up over backward point. It's going to dribble all the way to the boundary. Nothing Sidhu can do about trying to cut that off. There was a bit of an expensive over that one. That's the end of 4 now, 20 without loss, 9 from it.
9 from it, but 2 of them with strokes that weren't 100%. Both batters slashing outside the off stump, as you would expect. 4th over of the 6 in the power play. And like you said earlier, John, slashing hard is the way to do it at this level and in this form of cricket.
Look at the man with the sunglasses coming on now. 21-year-old Dubliner, Gavin Hoey. First change. Barry McCarthy just bowled the 2 overs for 6 runs. Good and accurate from the Irish international, and now a change. Hoey spin for the first time.
Yeah, Gavin Hoey coming on much earlier than yesterday. Different tactics from Tim Tector this morning. Barry McCarthy fielding it mid-off, giving plenty of advice to the bowler. Didn't have such a good spell yesterday, but expect more from him today. It's the kind of cloudy morning where the bowlers will be encouraged.
Wicketkeeper up to the stumps now. Look, they're setting a trap at backward point, short third.
Deep fielders at cover and mid-wicket. And that's a great ball from Hoey.
Yeah, straight through him. Didn't know whether to twist or stick. Got neither. And a good encouraging start from the 21-year-old Dubliner.
And immediately a little change in the field. The slip is coming in. Tector comes in to slip. And one of the leg side fielders has gone across to cover. Good attacking intent here from Lightning.
And he must be getting some movement on the ball. I'll take a quick single there. The wicketkeeper has to retrieve it. It is starting to get a little warmer here now, thankfully.
It could be one of those days when the clouds break up in the afternoon. Conditions could be very different by the time Lightning go out to reply to this Northwest Warriors opening innings. Very good start from Gavin Hoey. Tends to come on later, but today coming to bowl in the 5th, still in the power play. It's a brave move by Tector.
Fionn Hand is coming in off the boundary. Good arm. Very good arm, that. Big unit, Fionn Hand. Delighted for him getting his Test debut. And where else but Lords the other day. Irish bowling attack wasn't great at Lords, but certainly batted really well in the second innings. It's up and high and over and handsome, and the first maximum of the day hits the fence at the far side, and umpire with the 2 hands raised aloft, first boundary, dropped it in short. Batsman says thank you very much.
Yeah, fine shot from Doheny, using his feet beautifully and right to the pitch of the ball, turning a good length delivery into a half volley.
He had started well, but 6 from the moment it left the bat. Again, that's high in the air. Anybody underneath that? Yeah, there's a guy who's about 12, but he won't catch that. That's gone up. It's 2 consecutive 6s, and Doheny likes the cut of Gavin Hoey's jib, and he's battered him for 2 maximums.
And after a great start to the over, well, that just shows you how quickly things can change in T20. A couple of maximums, and all of a sudden a very expensive over from Hoey, and that brave move to bring him on early during the power play. Well, I'm sure Tim Tector is probably wondering if he's made the right decision.
5 overs down now, and what was a modest start has suddenly turned into 34 without loss. And we got a change of bowling now from the Sunday's well end, and the aforementioned Fionn Hand for the first time this week. Fionn
Hand, good medium pace bowler. fine batsman too to add to the middle order of the Lightning when it comes to their run chase. He's a big addition to this side. He and McCarthy, fresh from their international experiences, and it's a lot resting on their shoulders. With no wickets in the first 5 overs, just a little bit of extra pressure on hand here to make the breakthrough. Well, Dontney was going along at a sedate pace until those 2 sixes. Now his score looks pretty good.
Gillespie, though, is the one to face Hand. Squares him up. Good start from Hand, right on the money.
No slip for Fionn Hand. Third man and deep square leg, the fielders on the boundary.
First wide of the morning. Aidan Sievers, our umpire, along with Sam Hollingshead from Bristol. Aidan, an experienced umpire, replacing Paul Reynolds, who's the third today.
Better delivery that time. Must have been just inside the blue line there, I think, John. It was close to another wide.
And has worked his way up from club to into provincial and then into the national side as well. Very well over the last couple of years. As you say, medium pace, but accurate, and that's in the air. Up and over the ring of fielders, should dribble away for 4, but the chase is on down there, but they won't cut that off. And it has just enough momentum to pop itself over the ropes, and Gillespie joins the party.
That's his third boundary. He's done well, Aaron Gillespie. Plenty of intentional shots hit over the infield. This, of course, the last over of the power play. So the Warriors will be trying to get as much as they can.
Didn't get all of that. Might get 2. Yeah, they're going to come back for the second one. Test the hand of the fielder, which is a good one, but plenty of time to run through for the second single.
Turning into an expensive over from Fionn Hand. It's been a bit of a licorice all sorts type of an over.
Haven't heard that expression in a while.
1 or 2 good deliveries, but plenty for the batsmen to lick their lips at.
Hands on coming. Tried to paddle it around the corner, Gillespie.
That was a better delivery because it was straight over the stumps and made it difficult for the batter to get his bat onto the ball. So just 1 ball left in the power play and no wickets down.
Bowled him. Hand gets his man. Gillespie at the end of the power play, as you suggested. 41 for 1. They were just getting a little out of hand. But that's a very important wicket. So the opening pair has been broken. And that ends the 6th over. It's 41 for 1.
Well, they did get the wicket at the end of the power play with a full toss, which Gillespie played all around, and Hand makes the breakthrough, which is so important for Lightning. That'll give them some encouragement. It's a good delivery, accurate, but I think you'll find it hits the stumps on the full. Beyond googly length, but good enough to beat Gillespie, and at 41 for 1, you'd say honours even, perhaps, at the end of the first 6.
Thank you, Stephen. For the time being, he's going to step out, and the man who did the toss for us earlier on, Craig Senior, going to pop in. We had a busy day yesterday, Craig. He did all the analysis for both games, so we gave him a little break this morning, so Stephen And myself, John Kenny, could open the commentary. Craig, welcome to you. Honours even, as Stephen suggested, 41 for 1 at the end of 6.
Yes, very much so. Well, one felt that the Lightning needed that wicket in the power play. They broke that opening partnership that proved so good for the Northwest Warriors yesterday. Jared Wilson, the new bat. But it was interesting to see the bowling changes that Tim Tector, captain of the Leinster Lightning, made during that power play. Mike O'Reilly off to a good start. But Fionn Hand making the breakthrough that they needed.
Change of bowling again. Gavin Holy was expensive in his last over. He hit for 2 maximums up and over his head by Stephen Doheny, so they've replaced him now. And it's going to be Sam Harbison, wearing number 18, bowling now from the Mardyke walk end.
Did most of his bowling in yesterday's game from the Sunday's well end, so I think he'll enjoy coming down the hill instead of fighting against the wind and up the hill as he did yesterday.
Upish and 4. Nicely played in the end. It was just a little uppercut. Used the pace and momentum of the ball all the way to the boundary.
Well, first ball of your spell, always important to get it right. And this one, just enough room, allowing the batsman just to lift it down to the boundary.
Charge. Could be another 4 here. Yeah, enough momentum to get it past the fielder. Fionn Hand down there. So 2 consecutive boundaries. The runs are starting to flow now after, a quiet enough start.
Well, they say a boundary from your first ball puts pressure on the bowler. And this time, again, too much width. Just letting the batsman free his hands. Cut it behind square on the offside. 8 off the over. And just 2 balls gone.
Oh, Upish charged the bowler, but nothing on it that time.
Well, it's sensible there from Harbison, just putting his length back a bit and just taking the ball away from the batsman. He'll feel better having got that 1 dot ball through.
Oh, he's climbing higher and higher. And our visiting umpire Sam Hollingshead said that's 1 for the over.
Would have been quite close, I think, to actually being high enough for a wide. But he got away with the 1 for the over.
Oh, bowled him. Well, he's done it a couple of times, hasn't he? And the bowler gets his man. Doheny perishes, charging. Kept a little low, what he's considering, trying to hit it over the bowler's head, but in the end he's gone. And they lost the second wicket with the score on 49.
Well, that stand was worth 8, the 2 4s hitting this over. But the bowler persevered. He got one just to clip the top of the stumps. As Doheny came down the wicket charging again, there was certainly intent by the batsman. That's where he's just cramped him a bit more. Couldn't free his arms. The ball got past him and took out leg stump. 2 wickets down then. 49 on the board. And the Leinster Lightning would be delighted to have see the back of Doheny. He was starting to look dangerous.
Right, this is how he perished. Exposed the stumps and the leg stump cartwheeling backwards to give them the second wicket. And Scott Macbeth is the new batsman coming in at number 4.
Well, 2 wickets down. The Lightning would have liked to have seen that in the power play, but first over after the power play works as well. Scott Macbeth from the Brigade Club, opening bowler as well.
It's a bit of a half-hearted appeal from the bowler and Tim Tector. Nothing from the Wicketkeeper who scurries away to collect the ball.
Very definitely heading down leg there, and as you say, half-hearted appeal. See it here, make up your own mind.
Yeah, you can see the way the wicketkeeper was moving there, moving away to his left-hand side, and any toss a suggestion about LBW from the umpire would certainly have given the benefit of the doubt to the batsman. As it is, end of 7, 50 up, 50 for 2.
Well, we haven't seen the onslaught that we saw in yesterday's second game, and we haven't seen the wickets tumbling as we did in the first game. This is brand new and going well so far. Northwest Warriors will be happy with a run rate in excess of 7, but the Lightning again, they'll be happy that they're pegging that run rate back by taking wickets.
Drop and run, shy the stumps. Oh, that was close too. Tector, like all the Tector boys, quick across the ground, and a shy the stumps just missed. Don't know if he would have actually had his man, but certainly it was quick pick-up, quick throw.
And well backed up by Sam Harbison. We saw a couple of episodes of overthrows yesterday, and I think a word was said amongst the Leinster Lightning to make sure there's backing up.
Well, that's definitely a wide. You won't get one from the over there. That's tennis ball bounce, that one.
That's exactly what it was. It leapt a good few feet over the batsman's head. You can see how far back the wicketkeeper is standing today.
That's a better delivery. Low full toss, which got him his wicket. A few on hand in a previous over. Bowling Aaron Gillespie for 15. It was a good start from the Warriors, who lost the toss and were asked to bat. 41 without loss in the 6th over, but they're now 50 odd for 2, 53 for 2. So good comeback by the Lightning.
Much better delivery there. Batsman feeling he had to play at it for self-preservation as much as anything else.
The Lightning seem a little sharper in the field. Maybe it's do my eyes deceive me, but they certainly seem a little bit sharper, a little bit together, a little bit more cohesive as a unit compared to yesterday. Two changes on their side. Hand and O'Reilly coming in for Joe Carroll.
And Reuben Wilson.
Reuben Wilson was the other one, yeah.
There's an interesting point you made there, John, about the cohesiveness of the side in the field today. They seem more like a team. Yesterday, they drove down from Dublin, got out of their cars and played a game, and perhaps that's a consequence.
Oh, there's Field. Hand won't be happy with that. He's not happy with the fielder at all.
Mike O'Reilly just letting it slip through. Got enough on it, but it was still a single that wouldn't have been there otherwise. Yeah, having spent the game together yesterday and the evening together, come down to the ground together, they seem more together.
Oh, it's in the air. Cries of catch it. Should be out. High steepling catch. Hand gets a second wicket down to deep fine leg. And the third one goes at the score of 55. So they're 41 for none at one stage. And now 55 for 3. And we've only got one delivery to come. And the 8th over. Hand gets his second.
Well, that was there to be clipped. Unfortunately, he got a bit underneath it. Scott Macbeth, and he's lifted it down to fine leg. Down to long leg, rather. A bit wider than that. You see here. Just got bigger on him than he expected. And all he could do was lift it down to exactly where the fielder was. Fine catch by Greg Ford.
That was a good catch, wasn't it?
It was. He had ended up having to dive forward for it, but so often you see as the elbows hit the ground, the ball can spill. But he had a firm grip on that one, held on to it, And with 3 down, Leinster Lightning, well, there'll be a little bit of a jump in their step now.
8 overs down, 55 for 3. Captain's in, Shane Getgate, having won the toss, or lost the toss, and asked to bat. He's coming in at number 5, former Irish international.
And Shane did mention at the toss that had he won the toss, he also would have bowled. The Mardike this week is full of skippers winning tosses and bowling first.
Yeah. So Getgate not facing as the Harbison comes in to bowl. That's his second over. Jared Wilson swinging and missing.
Well, 2 new batsmen at the crease now. Leinster Lightning will be looking to exploit that before the batsmen get their feet moving properly. On that one you could see Wilson, it was more bat movement than foot movement.
Busy summer for Cricket Ireland. They had hoped to play a couple of Wolves matches at home and Thailand women, but they've all been cancelled now because Ireland have to go to the men's qualifiers in Zimbabwe later this month. They've got 5 in the group, including themselves. First match against the UAE on the 19th of June in Harare. The top 3 will then qualify from that into the Super Sixes. And beyond that, the top 2 will then qualify for the 8 who've already been allocated a spot. I'm only going to say pre-qualified because they didn't have to. They just allocated their spots basically on world rankings. Just the 10-team World Cup. The last World Cup obviously was very, very exciting with the 10 teams, but we all know ourselves they need to extend it because it is a World Cup, get out to 14, maybe 16 countries involved. Tries to catch it, but there's nobody there.
Well, that was a false shot, but it landed safely. Again, on the leg side. 3 fielders, 2 of whom are well outside the ring.
Also have T20 qualifiers. They're going on in Scotland for the World Cup, so that's for the men. The women will have Australia coming to Ireland. It's a leg bye. Coming to Ireland for 3 games. Great to see the world champions coming to play against Ireland. Irish women's team is obviously under the tutelage of a new coach that knows the game. It certainly changed their fortunes. Is that going to be out? Sidhu's coming in towards to meet it, but it's going to drop short. In fact, well short of Sidhu. And they run through for 2.
Well, he went for the big shot. He was lucky that he didn't find the fielder there. It's just slightly too far ahead of Sidhu.
End of 9. 61 for 3.
Well, these 2 are looking for big shots, but at the moment they're just not finding their timing.
I was just talking about the women and their top-class coach, Joyce. Certainly has moved things along for the women. Very young side as well. And guilty of not some great fielding in recent competitions. But they have to work on that because they're a very, very young side. And the Australians coming to town, well, it'll give them a chance to see what level they're at. A couple of years ago, New Zealand came to town and plundered the Irish flag, 400 plus. And Ireland was skittled out for less than 100, well less than 100 too. So times have changed, and times have changed for the good for the Irish women's team. They had their vanguards over the years when they were completely amateurs. Now they've got central contracts going on, not full time yet, but getting there. And of course we've exported some really top class women's talent over the last couple of years. That's a wide. Alrighty, back.
Yep, the exporter players, specifically Kim Garth, now in the Australian squad for the Ashes. Be
Amazing
good
that.
Be good to
It's
see
just
her
amazing,
back in.
yeah.
Be good to see her back in Dublin.
Gabby Lewis has shown her worth as well, playing in the 100. Has had some fine knocks this year for her team in the women's Interpro. 3 teams involved there now, having during COVID times just being the 2.
Another one who's taken massive steps forward would be Orla Prendergast, of course,
Indeed.
playing for the Western Storm in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint.
Sidhu down there won't stop that. Didn't even dive. Got his hand to it, I think, actually, and just pushed it over the boundary ropes 4.
Yep, he did get a hand to it, but the power of the shot meant he hadn't got enough. It's been a productive area for the Northwest Warriors this morning, over third.
O'Reilly continuing then from the commentary box end. Slightly slower delivery. Beats the batsman and throws his head back. Getgate knew how close he was to getting out there. Well bowled.
Mike O'Reilly, plenty of experience with YMCA. And a good slower ball there. Definitely deceiving Getgate. Anything could have happened there.
Again, a swing and a miss. Getgate trying to get on with it. 41 without loss, 66 for 3. Now we're in the 10th.
This early in his innings, Shane Getgate, well, he's trying to stand and deliver. And O'Reilly, he's putting the ball in the right spots at the moment anyway.
Nice. Well done by Tector. Backward point. That's a fine piece of fielding. Diving, spinning away to his left-hand side, and certainly stopping the boundary. They ran through for a single, but that was brilliant from Tector.
And with that single, it brings Wilson on strike again. But that was a superb piece of fielding. Very athletic, kept his eye on the ball, and got rid of it as soon as he could. Couldn't stop the single, but as you say, certainly stopped the 4.
These Tector boys are good, all right, in the field. One of them can't half bat. Thinking about the quick single, they won't get anywhere near doing that. So we're halfway through then the innings. The Northwest Warriors asked to bat, having lost the toss. They've lost 3 wickets in Doheny, Gillespie and Scott Macbeth. Jared Wilson and Shane Getgate are at the crease. There were 41 without loss. They're now 67 for 3 at the end of 10 as we move into the second part of this Warriors innings.
Well, I'd have to say this is looking fairly even at the moment. You see Stephen Doheny got off to an absolute flyer, racing along to 33 off just 25 balls. Gillespie wasn't quite as fluid. He got 15 off 16 balls, and Scott Macbeth, well, he fell to that lovely catch by Greg Ford down at long leg. But these two now, they've been in for an over or so, and they'll be looking to push on from this, what is actually a good solid base for the Northwest Warriors, but Leinster also will feel they're in it with 3 wickets down.
Getgate doesn't want to hang around, does he? He's not getting bat on ball at the moment, though.
He's certainly trying to, with every single delivery, to get something on it. But as you say, at the moment, it just doesn't seem to have the timing. It's the sort of innings where one cracking shot through the covers could see him off and running.
Well, this is unusual. They pushed Tim Tector back from first slip halfway to the boundary. kind of a backstop, really, isn't he? May see
Yeah,
that in Taverners cricket. Nobody don't see it in this kind of level.
Yeah, usually it's when you want a fine leg and a third man, you put it station 1. Often upsets wicket keepers.
That was the bowler who pushed him back.
Well, that was very good bowling by Harbours. He saw the batsman setting himself, going across his stumps, and just pulled back his length.
Changing the field again. Tector's bringing himself out from that backstop position. He's going to pull himself into the leg side. Whitish mid-on. And as soon as he said that, up goes Getgate, up and over the top, and flies all the way for an opening boundary for the captain.
Well, he saw the movement of the player in the field, gave him a bit more freedom to play down that way. He put it wide enough that Seamus Lynch down at third man couldn't get there. 4 onto the total.
There should be another 4 as well. It's coming down towards us, but they won't cut that off. So 2 consecutive 4s, release the shackles for Getgate, who's been anxious to get on with it. Move on to 75 for 3 now.
Yeah, just 2 shots, and suddenly he's above a runner ball. That's how quickly it can change. This one, you can see, just enough on the body that he whipped the bat around. Fast bat speed, fast hands. And no fielder down there was going to stop that one.
Greg Ford is the fielder down, doing the ball retrieval, which went underneath the covers. Harbison then to complete this, the 11th over. And that's gone straight through everybody. That's 4 byes. Getgate didn't get anything on that. He tried to just lift it over the wicketkeeper's head, but there was just too much on it for our wicketkeeper Mark Donegan to stop. And 3 consecutive boundaries to end that over. That's filling your boots.
Well, after a couple of overs of relatively quietness, 3 4s in a row for the Northwest Warriors sees their score race up to 79 for 3 off 11. And they're keeping that run rate consistently around 7 at the moment. With 7 wickets in hand, if they can, these 2 can keep going for another, say, 3 overs, that will allow the last 6 to be a total assault on the bowling.
11 down, 79 for 3 now, and Gavin Howe's going to switch ends. Replacing Mikey O'Reilly. He's gone through 3 of his 4 overs. Oh, he got a little tap at the end of his first over. Went for 14. 2 consecutive 6s after 4 decent deliveries.
Howie will be striving for consistency in his deliveries here. As you say, the start of his last over went very well for him. See if he can weave his magic here now from the Sunday's well end.
Oh, that's poor. That's the second time that's happened to him. Mikey O'Reilly taking his eye off the ball. Fielders or bowlers not impressed.
Bowler just giving a little look over to the fielder.
Don't do that again, he says. Flatter delivery. This time he's got his body behind it at least.
I think the best, kindest thing to say there is he did field it. It wasn't clean, but it didn't get past him this time.
I have to say it's getting a little warmer here after a little coldness early on. I think the sun is just trying to break through this cloud cover.
certainly a lot more clouds today than there were yesterday. And you can understand why, upon winning the toss, Tim Tector elected to bowl first. He'd have been hoping for a bit more movement, perhaps.
Spread in the field now. Tector's taking himself out of that inner ring, out to the boundary on the offside, and it's gone straight to him. In fact, there's two fielders out there. Oh, that's not great from the wicketkeeper. Just a little lax in the field. We were saying how well they had played up to this point in the field. And a couple of times there now, misfields. And the ball straight through to the keeper, and he dropped it and they ran through for a second single.
Yeah, once it happens once on a team, it seems to be infectious, the misfielding. And they've given away needless run there.
Barry McCarthy just in front of us had a big yell to say, come on lads. Tector's in the right place at the right time there. He knew exactly where that ball was going. "14 runs off his first over, 5 so far off this, his second OE. That's lovely. Nicely played with the outside of the bat, and that was very much premeditated from Jared Wilson. Walked across the stumps to end that over. Hoey mightn't see out his 4. They like the colour of his jib and the cut of his jib, and they targeted him today, no doubt.
Well, that was a lovely shot. He came across his stumps looking to play a bigger shot, but realised that wasn't the ball for it, so just opened the face and ran it down, and 4 runs anyway, as it shot across the boundary.
89 for 3 at the end of 12.
Well, the Northwest Warriors, well, there are the bowling figures so far. Fionn Hand 2 for 12, just going at a run a ball, and McCarthy going at 3 and over. They're the pick of the bowlers so far. Harbison has that 1 wicket, 1 for 22 from his 3. And now we'll see Amish Sidhu as the 6th bowler.
Yeah, Gordon Hoey I don't think is going to finish his spell. He's been expensive. So Sidhu's coming on now at the far end. The Mardyke walk in for this, the 13th over. So spin at both ends for the moment. Wicketkeeper up to the stumps. Greg Ford has come up to short fine leg around the corner. It's in the air and it's up over his head too. And it's all the way to the boundary for 4. The best shot in the world. That could have gone straight to Ford, but in the end, Getgate's power is enough to make sure it hits the bushes and goes over the boundary ropes for a boundary.
Well, that shows the absolute value of seeing where the fielders are moved to. He realised Ford was in the circle. That gave him some leeway. He could go aerial. Didn't have to be full power. Just clear the ring. It will run away for 4.
Big contrast in the sizes of these two. Sidhu goes after his own bowling. Getgate a big, strong, powerful man, as is Jared Wilson. Sidhu's a small, impish leg bowler. Or leggy as they call them. Pushing on now to 3 figures. We're in the 14th over. Or, 13th over. On the track, and that's gone a mighty long way. That's the biggest 6 we've seen this morning. Getgate is in the humour, and that takes him past 3 figures, and imperiously so. Brilliant shot from Getgate.
Well, he's starting to find his range now. Sidhu just hanging this one up for him. Just came down the track and caught it just as it was rising. Got the elevation, and well, the cars going up and down Mardyke Walk were in a bit of trouble there.
New balls, please. That one has disappeared, never to be seen again, unless somebody stuck it in their pocket heading down the Mardyke Walk Road.
really needs to be some signs on the road warning.
Yeah. Well, we have the other end of the ground, don't we? The Sunday's Well end where the tennis courts are. I don't know if they allow them to play tennis while the cricket is on, but I hear anecdotal stories of there was a match down here one time and the ball was being hit straight into the tennis courts and they had to just bowl from the one end. Such was the danger. And now Getgate has actually cleared that end too. Had to reach for that. Cedo trying to bowl it wide.
Somewhat fortunate, I think, that Getgate got the end of his bat onto it.
Flipped away on the leg side. Might come back for a second one here, yep. Nicely done. Fielder can't pick it up. And again, that's just a little sloppy too. The ball is sitting there, having not made contact or made contact with the ball. He left it behind him, and then the other fielder stood there and watched it too. That is a little sloppy. If they had thought about it, they could have run a third. Quick signal to end the over.
On this occasion, Seamus Lynch picking it up cleanly.
13 down, and we're 104 for 3. And that's the end of my little stint. And Craig and Stephen are going to take you through to the conclusion of the innings. Craig.
Well, the Leinster Lightning had pulled themselves back into this game, taking a few wickets. But now Getgate and Wilson slowly, surely accumulating, increasing the run rate up to 8 now. And in response, Tim Tector has gone back to Fionn Hand. Fionn broke that opening partnership. 41 for none they were, and then 53 for 3. And these two now, well, they're starting to motor, especially the captain. If ever you wanted to see a captain's knock, this is it so far. Getgate really taking on the bowling. And Fionn Hand now from the Sunday's Well end, bowling to Shane Getgate. Goes for that very full length. Has the protection there of Seamus Lynch at long on, and it's just a single. Welcome, Stephen.
Hi, Craig. Good to be back in the seat. And it's been a fascinating morning of cricket with Leinster Lightning starting so well, restricting the Warriors to 41 for 1 and then 55 for 3. But since then, these two, Wilson and Getgate, have done superbly well. And there's a maximum. Jared Wilson pulling Fionn Hand to wide mid-on for a 6.
Well, Wilson has spent a lot of time at the non-striker's end watching his skipper, plundering runs, running twos, deciding to join the party, and that was a lovely clean hit, straight over long on. No chance of retrieving that. He goes again, crashes into the bowler's feet on his follow-through, and that has saved 3 runs. And doesn't seem to have caused too much pain to the bowler, but it was hit back at some speed.
Yeah, Fionn Hand under pressure here, one of the senior bowlers for Lightning, but the Warriors are in no mood for watching. They want to express themselves fully with the bat. Shane Getgate, 33 off 22, Wilson 20 off 13. And there's a gift, full toss, hit straight down the ground by Getgate. 120 for 3 now.
Well, you can see what Hand is trying to do. He's trying to get that one up into the block hole on this occasion, just going a little bit too far, turning it into a full toss, and it was just powered straight back past him and went for 4. Well, experienced Barry McCarthy chatting with Fionn Hand now. Passing on pearls of wisdom. Tim Tector also there.
2 senior pros in the side, if you will, Hand and McCarthy, giving as much advice as they can to Tim Tector. who won the toss today and elected to bowl and would have been very happy after about 8 overs. Smashed past Tector in the cover for another boundary. Getgate is a very strong hitter of a cricket ball.
Well, that takes the partnership onto 65 from just 35 balls, just to show how productive these two have been since they came to the crease pretty much at the same time. 2 quick wickets earlier on saw them both here, and they've slowly eased themselves into this innings. No risks, nothing stupid, but by golly, they've been willing to put away the bad ball.
Expensive over from hand so far. It was a better delivery. It was down the leg side. I'm sure the umpire thought about it wide, but decided against it. So at the end of his 3 overs, Fionn Hand has gone for 28. Those 2 wickets he got seem a long time ago.
Yes, indeed. Well, he was over pitching in that particular spell. Tim Tector now determined to break this partnership. You can see since that wicket fell in the 8th over, those building blocks are getting larger and larger, and it's mainly been the spinners who have gone for most runs, but it's allowed these two to establish themselves, and now they don't seem to mind who they're facing. And as a result, Tim Tector's gone back to his fastest strike bowler, Barry McCarthy from the Margate walk end.
Slashed away by Wilson, and it's held on the boundary fence. A really good catch to break the partnership, and McCarthy does the trick, coming back on for his 3rd over and getting his first wicket of the morning. 120 for 4 now, after 14.1.
Well, actually McCarthy's first wicket of the festival. He'll be delighted to get that notch onto the books. And that's the end of Jared Wilson. He departs for 20 off his 14 balls, and Fionn Hand providing the safe cradle for the ball. Slashed away on the offside, but this time picked out the man. He was in a few yards from the boundary, no danger at all of stepping over. And that's the 4th wicket down with the score on 120. And Leinster needed to break this partnership and also to slow the scoring rate, but a new batsman in, that we are into the last 6 overs, and McCarthy makes the breakthrough. Now next in, Cameron Melly. Well, he impressed me yesterday with his batting.
Yes, made 30 not out yesterday. Cameron Melly in a very good partnership with Scott Macbeth, who made 40 not out to get the Warriors over the line, chasing that low total of 120 by Munster Reds in the opening match of this Rario T20 series that seems like a long time ago now, as we are well into the 3rd match of what will eventually be 18 interprovincial matches. Play and a miss from Melly as McCarthy shows his class.
Well, again, new batsman. He's going to have to get his feet moving quickly. McCarthy, he'll be looking for another wicket very quickly. 120 for 4. Well, you wouldn't say either team was really streets ahead at the moment.
It's a good match, this. Sun's starting to come out here in the Mardyke in Cork.
Nice delivery, good length. Melly looking to guide it down towards 3rd. Didn't actually get near it in the end. Yeah, great to see the sun again, breaking through the gaps in the cloud. How long it will last is the other question, of course. Not due to really brighten up until 4 o'clock this evening, which will be just during our 2nd game, which is the Munster Reds. We'll be playing the Northern Knights.
Good day for cricket. Come down and join us here in the Mardyke if you're in the area. That's good bowling and good fielding too. Harbinson quickly in from mid-wicket to prevent the single. McCarthy really showing his international quality here, coming on with the Warriors well on top, taking the wicket. And as you can see there, in his third over, he's only gone for 6 runs.
Really has to be considered the Lightning's strike bowler here today. Getting the opportunity coming down the hill. And he's bowled well. He's varied his length and his pace.
Another shorter delivery, just getting up off a back of a length and preventing Melly from getting bat on ball.
This McCarthy's third over, and how Tim Tector uses his resources quite important here today. He brought McCarthy back to take that wicket, having tried Hand. Hand had actually been quite expensive in that over. He went to McCarthy and got that wicket with the first ball of the over.
Last ball of the over. I wonder if he can let Melly get strike. Oh, he's gone better than that. Melly has played on and McCarthy gets a double wicket over. What a performance by the Ireland international. 2 for 6 now after 3 overs. Too good for Cameron Melly. And it's 5 down now for 120 after 15 overs.
Well, we spoke about scoreboard pressure yesterday when the Lightning were trying to chase 236. Well, there was a different sort of pressure there on Melly then. He'd faced most of McCarthy's over. He felt the need to try and get some runs and played a shot that, on reflection, he may wish he'd left alone. It was well above the stumps. He's got the bottom edge and it crashes in, removing the bails. And that's just what the Lightning needed.
Double wicket maiden for McCarthy. How rare is that in
Absolutely.
T20 cricket?
Absolutely. That's exactly what Tim Tector would have been looking for from his strike bowler, and by goodness he's delivered. Double wicket maiden in a T20.
And while all that was going on, Simon Getcate on 41 not out, watching from the other end. He's now been joined by Willie McClintock. So Gavin Hoey coming on for his third over. It's been expensive so far, none for 24.
Well, Barry McCarthy comes down to long off. There'll be a certain amount of pleasure there. He'll be happy enough with the double wicket maiden. But again, he'll be looking at the scoreboard and saying 120 for 5. Well, if they can keep the Northwest Warriors under 180, they'll have done well.
Getcate plays it straight down the ground. McCarthy charging and preventing the second run. Though the throw to the bowler's end was a little bit scrappy.
Well, it hit one of those undulations in the ground, and that caused it just to fly towards Hoey's feet.
Another little turn in this story.
Well, that's the great thing about cricket, isn't it? It can all seem to be going one way. All it takes is a couple of deliveries and everything changes. 120 for 3 has become 122 for 5.
Well, Willie McClintock is the type of batter that Northwest Warriors would like to see coming to the crease at this stage of an innings. He's a huge hitter of the ball. Change of fielding here. Tector's come in to short cover. And that's turned round the corner to backward square leg for a single, getting McClintock off the mark, but bringing Getcate back on strike on 42.
Good ball from Gavin Hoey. That seemed to be the wrong one because it really cramped McClintock up, and all he could do was play it round the corner to the leg side and take a single. You know he was looking for anything outside off, And that one came back into him. Well bowled by Hoey.
5 on the boundary for Hoey here. And that's a fine delivery, beating the outside edge of Getgate's bat. Well taken by Donegan.
Well, that delivery out of the front of the hand, almost like a seamless delivery. Pushed it through with a bit more pace.
Cracked backward of square. Harbinson with a diving stop, but it'll be at least a couple. And McClintock coming back for the third. Just makes his ground. Good running by the Northwest Warriors batters. And good fielding too by Harbinson to save the boundary.
He did well to save the boundary, but in doing so spilled the ball a couple of yards away from himself, and that gave McClintock the chance to take a third and bring himself back onto strike.
Getgate's gone to 45. McClintock just 1 to his name. Pulls it towards wide mid on. And that's Seamus Lynch doing the fielding. Just a single. Better over this from Hoey. As we come to the end of the 16th over. Oh, how low that one kept. The variety of bounce in this wicket there for all to see. Hoey's third over comes and goes. Just 7 off that one. And after 16, it's 127 for 5.
Well, after his double wicket maiden, McCarthy makes way. Mikey O'Reilly now will get a chance bowling down the hill from the Mardyke walk end.
Tim Tector probably deciding to keep McCarthy for the final over. So O'Reilly coming back with the wind at his back. 2 right-handers at the crease, the left arm over medium pacer. Hoping to make it difficult for them to get bat on ball.
Well, Seamus Lynch is the fielder down at third. One feels with Mikey O'Reilly pushing the ball across the right-hander, he could be the busiest fielder on the ground for this over. Although Getgate and McClintock will be looking to go big and probably in front of the wicket.
A correct shot from McClintock into the cover. Sidhu is the fielder, and it's a single for McClintock, moving him to 3. Bringing Getgate on strike on 45. Off just 29 deliveries. He's a very good situation cricketer, Shane Getgate. He always reads the game well. He knows what's required in the moment. That's what makes him such a good captain. And that's really short. And it's one bounce into the hedges on the fringes of this Mardyke cricket ground. Another boundary for Getgate moves him to 49. And the score moving along nicely for the Warriors.
Mikey O'Reilly just leaving this one too close to the body, and he was onto it so quickly, punched it away. There was no pity down there, and 4 runs brings him to the brink of his half century.
And that's it. He'll certainly get a 1 here, if not 2. Just 1 though to the arm of Gavin Hoey. Good return. But Getgate's 50, applauded by his teammates on the far side near the pavilion. Yesterday he chose not to bat and sent Cameron Melly in to get some experience. Today Getgate has been centre stage for the Warriors.
definition of a captain's knock. His side, whilst not being in trouble, they certainly were on the edge, and himself putting together a half century off just 31 balls. That's exactly what the North West Warriors have needed.
Oh, a little snick, and it's gone too fine. Seamus Lynch can't get to that one for McClintock, his first boundary.
Well, doesn't that just show you the thin line between success and failure? This one coming off the edge of the bat and he gets 4 runs for it. Any other day, that could have flown straight to Seamus Lynch at short third. But he got the right amount of bat on it this time, adding 4 to the total. And the outfield here is quite quick now, after beautiful sunshine yesterday.
Lifted into the outfield. There could be a fielder there. Hoey, though, unable to get to it, and he's missed the ball as well. So that's going to be an extra run. Perhaps no, just the 2 for McClintock.
Well,
very expensive over this from O'Reilly, his final one.
Gavin Hoey coming in from the boundary there, and you could see his intent was to catch it, and he realised very late that he wouldn't and had to put out of it, and that's what distracted him, and the ball got past him, allowed them to get through for 2.
Final ball of the O'Reilly spell, the end of the 17th over. Very defensive field from the Lightning. And that one has got up, but it's gone down the leg side, and it's called a wide.
Well, you can see what Mikey O'Reilly was trying to get done there. He's trying to get it past the batsman, finish off his over, finish off his spell. Making his first appearance of this festival today, Mikey O'Reilly.
Chopped down to Lynch at backward point. Single for McClintock. The end of O'Reilly's spell, which goes for 34 runs. And the total goes to 141 for 5 after 17. Just 3 to go. And the Warriors will be hoping to get 10 to 12 off each over from now. Maybe set a total of around 170, 175.
Well, even a runner ball from here on in will get them up to 160, 8 and over. But you can be absolutely sure now, Gavin Hoey is coming on at the Sunday's well end, and you can be absolutely sure that these 2 batsmen will be targeting this over. They know that one of these 3 will be bowled by McCarthy. Here's the last over, double wicket maiden.
Hoey's 3 have already gone for 31. And there's a big hit from McClintock. Straight down the ground, strikes the sight screen behind the bowler, and it's a maximum for the big man from Donnamana.
Well, the spinners today not having too much fortune. McClintock just freeing his arms to one outside the off stump and turning it into a big 6 down to the sight screen.
16 off 7 now for McClintock. That's a better delivery. A little bit of turn there. Still 2 players inside the circle, behind square on the offside, and a couple on the leg side. The rest spread out around this Mardyke ground. There's another big hit from McClintock. Will it clear the fence? It certainly does. Look out, tennis players. Willie's in town.
Indeed. McClintock with some fine, clean hitting here. We thought that they would target this Gavin Hoey over, and 2 6s from the first 3 balls. They've certainly done that. You were mentioning 12 and over for the last 3. We'll get them up to 170, 180. That must be what they're looking for.
This has all the makings of a really good cricket match. Pitch is played pretty well in the main, and the cloud cover hasn't really helped the bowlers as much as we thought it might.
Well, there is cloud cover, but it is relatively high. It's starting to break up, high pressure. But 3 balls to come in the over. And you know that William McClintock, he's got 18 off those 3 balls on his mind.
Just 67 yards to where he stands, to the boundary rope at this end, and here's another one straight over our heads, sailing many a mile onto the covers that are stored over in this corner of the ground.
Well, another 6. It seems to me that it's not just Hoey, but Sidhu had the same problem as well. It just seems to be that this pitch more for seamers than...
That's a better delivery, a bit quicker and straighter, but frustration for Hoey and Donegan, whose loud appeals have fallen on deaf ears.
Well, you'll see it again here. Hoey going more again for the quicker seamer rather than anything spinning, pushes it through.
Looked pretty straight, didn't it?
Well, Hayden Seavis deciding not out.
And Willie sends it high and handsome again. A 4th 6 in the over for Willie McClintock, who races away to 34 off just 12 deliveries. 4th 6 off the over. Hoey's spell comes to an end, and he's given up 55 runs after 18. The Warriors have steamed along to 165 for 5.
Well, it's amazing what 1 over like that, the difference it makes. And now we're going to see the return for his 4th over of Barry McCarthy from the Mardyke Walk end. But that was very destructive by William McClintock. It shows what he's capable of, dumping Hoey onto the tennis courts more than once.
Well, in the 15th over, Shane Getgate watched the play from the other end and saw 2 wickets fall and a wicket maiden when McCarthy came on. That time he watched Willie McClintock feast on Hoey's bowling with 4 sixes. I'm sure he's very happy with his teammate right now. This should be a good battle. McCarthy against Getgate, who is on 50 after just 31 deliveries.
These two came together with the score on 120. 45 they've put on. 24 of those came off the last over. So it's been a quick partnership, and the run rate overall has gone above 9 now.
It's taken them just 3 overs to get those 45. A lot resting on the shoulders of Barry McCarthy here. Needs to make a breakthrough. Lightning badly need to break up this partnership. Get a new batter at the crease in these final 2 overs.
Yes, if these two are still there in 12 balls time, I'm expecting to see 180 on the board.
That should be just a single. Fionn Hand in the deep. Getgate moves to 51, the score to 166 for 5.
Well, William McClintock, he's only going to be thinking of one thing here. He's going to get bat on ball and with as much power as he can. Just 11 balls remaining in the innings now.
Off the pad of McClintock, and the finger is raised. The wicket is taken. McCarthy has his third. It's LBW. And that fine innings by Willie McClintock has come to an end. 7th wicket down for the Warriors. 166 for 7 after 18.2.
Well, William McClintock, it was more a cameo than an innings. 13 balls, but he managed to get up to 34. Well, McCarthy picks up his third as McClintock leaves the fray. He got 34 off 13. Tremendous strike rate. Only 18 minutes, but a strike rate of 261. 1-4, 4 sixes. 25 of his 34 in boundaries.
I think I said 7 wickets. It is, of course, 6. 6 down.
It's been a well-paced innings. It's benefited, obviously, from that over where McClintock took on Hoey. But by and large, they've accumulated runs. They've grown a total.
And it's Harry Zimmerman who has come to the crease, batting at number 8.
Yesterday we saw one game, low scoring, 120, not defended, and one game with 236, not chased down. This one seems a more, dare I say, usual game of cricket, but with another 4 there.
They don't even need to use their bats now, the Warriors. That went off the thigh pad. But the same result, another boundary, and this score accelerating towards the end.
McCarthy just straying too far onto the body. 4 leg byes. Bit of a delay while they fetch the ball from behind us.
Well, a few overs ago I was contemplating maybe 170, 175 as the target. Well, we've still got 9 deliveries left, and they've already got 170.
They'll be looking for 190 now.
Run rate currently 9.19. 9 deliveries to go. And just a small delay here with a ball lost under the covers behind us.
Paul Reynolds coming out from the pavilion with his box of balls. And between balls disappearing onto the Mardyke walk and onto the tennis courts, and now one under the covers, well, the box may be a little bit depleted now. I'm sure he's a big bag of them inside and he just keeps refilling the case. But Cricket Island's budget for balls must be growing year on year with bigger and bigger bats and bigger hitting. That one's fetched out from under the covers, thrown back onto the field, and now we can continue with the second half of Barry McCarthy's last over.
Harry Zimmerman with a boundary off his thigh pad to his name, hoping to get bat on ball here against McCarthy. And he has, and it's snicked in the same direction, but this time Greg Ford is there to reduce that scoring stroke to just 1.
Well, again, one that was up in the air for a very long time. But unfortunately for the Leinster Lightning, no player underneath it. Unfortunately for the Northwest Warriors, no player underneath it. Another one onto the total. Brings the captain back on strike. He's had to watch a fair bit of the last few overs.
And McCarthy will be steaming in here trying to get his wicket. Oh, that's brilliantly played. Just flicked up and over. One bounce for 4, and Getgate adds another boundary to his excellent innings. And the score goes up to 175.
You can see McCarthy, determination on his face as he comes in. But Getgate just leaves the bat there, lifts it over the keeper. And one bounce into the sight screen.
Looks easy, very difficult to execute that kind of.
You see
That kind of shot.
You see the kids now practicing those sorts of shots all the time when they're down on the nets and they're playing, and it's just become second nature to batsmen now.
Smashed away to mid-wicket. There is a fielder in the deep. It's Simon Harbinson, and he takes the catch, and Getgate has to go. And McCarthy gets his 4th wicket in what has been a tremendous spell of T20 bowling. Double wicket maiden just a few minutes ago, and now the wicket of Getgate, the man who has top scored for the Warriors today.
Well, he took on McCarthy. It was a big hit, but too much elevation. You can see here, McCarthy punches it in, and although he had quick hand speed, it did seem to come off the top half of the bat. Just gave you that bit more elevation, and it was a fine catch. Another over with 2 wickets in it for McCarthy.
Tremendous spell from him. He's only given up 12 runs, 4 wickets, and just 1 delivery to go. Lightning are staying in the match thanks to McCarthy's strike bowling.
They've called over. Fionn Hand it is who will bowl the 20th over from the Sunday's well end. Barry McCarthy finishing his 4 overs with 4 for 12. There's quite exceptional bowling figures for McCarthy today. Wicketless yesterday. Well, he's made up for it today.
So Hand with the responsibility. 6 deliveries to go. Ryan Macbeth is the batter who has come in.
Well, that's good experienced play from McCarthy. He fielded the ball cleanly, but had no intention of throwing it. Nobody at the stumps, nobody backing up. If he'd missed, it would have meant an extra 2 runs. So deciding that, well, just a single is a good thing at this stage.
That run rate just above 9. It will be a target that the Lightning will feel confident that they can achieve. They just have to get off to a good start. Should be a very good second innings here in this opening match of the Wednesday play.
Again.
Good pull shot that by Macbeth to get off the mark, but just a single.
2 singles from 2 balls. Well, that would be, the Lightning will be happy enough with that. If Hand could get out of this over with just 6 off it, it would be a very good over for the Lightning.
The key here being, of course, that there's 2 new batters at the crease. That seemed to come off the grill of the helmet, I think, or maybe the visor. We might have to have a check here. Harry Zimmerman struck on the head.
Well, he top edged that one into his grill, just into the peak of his cap and the grill. Barry McCarthy already signalling for a new helmet for him. See the discussions going on. I don't think any lasting damage to the batsman, but it's the invention of these helmets and the protective gear that allows these players to play shots that, well, I never learnt, because you'd lose your front teeth or your nose, or any top edge like that would have been very painful back in the day. But now, with the protection, it gives the players the freedom to play these ramps and paddles and reverse shots that now an everyday part of it. And you don't just see it in T20 anymore. You now see it in Test matches. The way that McBride and Adair batted at Lord's last week. You saw them lifting balls over the keeper and over the slips, playing these, what we used to call T20 shots. Fresh helmet being brought onto the ground now.
Well, the important thing is that Harry Zimmerman seems to be okay.
I
glancing blow.
I think it was a glancing blow that just seemed uglier because it did catch the peak of the helmet on its way up, hit the grill, hit the peak, and it was that hitting the peak, I think, that made the most noise. But he seems fine. Drink of water.
Just making sure everything is fine, because it is important, obviously, that the welfare of the player is the most
first and foremost.
Most important thing in this situation. Well, it's been a really good, interesting morning's play. The Northwest Warriors, galvanised by Shane Getgate's half century. He made 55 off just over 30 deliveries. Willie McClintock's rapid fire 34, and Stephen Doheny with 33 to lead things off. Great bowling from McCarthy. It's all set up for what should be a very good run chase for the Lightning.
Yes, they may make certain adjustments compared to yesterday's run chase, chasing 236. This time the total were a little less, but also I think they've now realised that there's no point chasing a big total in one lump. You just have to go after it incrementally, see where you are after the power play, see where you are halfway through, and decide when to make your push forward. And if you have wickets in hand, well, 178 isn't out of reach by any stretch of the imagination.
And we certainly know the Northwest Warriors have a good attack. Trent McKeegan, man of the match yesterday, with 4 wickets. Cian Robertson has bowled very well for them. Here we are, back at the action. Great ball from Fionn Hand. Getting plenty of lift, but just enough for a dot ball.
Yeah, they also have the 2 Macbeths from Brigade. One the spinner and one the seamer. That must have made for interesting games of cricket in the back garden. Variation of bowling to be faced, even from the brothers.
Good forearm smash there. I think that was just saved brilliantly by Seamus Lynch on the boundary.
Well, the excellent work of our cameramen caught that beautifully. You can see that
just a couple for Macbeth. That saved 2.
good bit of sensible fielding by Lynch. He came across, got his hand to the ball just before the rope, but made sure he didn't touch the rope.
So this should be the final ball. And it's well pitched up, and plenty of lift evades the outside edge of Zimmerman's bat. A very good finishing over from Fionn Hand, just 5 coming off it. So he gets 2 for 33. But McCarthy the star with the ball. Getgate the star for the Warriors. And at the end, after 20 overs, it's 180 for 7, exactly 9 and over. That's what the Leinster Lightning will be chasing when they reply in a few minutes' time. Here's the card. As you can see, Zimmerman and Macbeth not out 3 at the end, but the innings of the day so far. Shane Getgate with that 55 off 34 deliveries, ably assisted by Willie McClintock, who got 34 off just 13 balls.
Well, including that 24 from one Gavin Hoey over. And as you see, Jared Wilson and Getgate together with the largest partnership. But one would say the quickest partnership off 20 balls was the 46 between McClintock and Getgate. And in fact, you can see Getgate's name all over that card because he provided such a solid role for them. In the bowling here, well, Barry McCarthy, 4 for 12 from his 4 overs, including, as rare as hen's teeth, the double wicket maiden. And then it was Fionn Hand, the other experienced international, 2 for 33. And then Sam Harbison, 1 for 22. They were the wicket takers. Sidhu, well, he was only given 1 over today, and that was expensive. And Hoey is the other spinner, also expensive. But the seamers did well today.
And there's the match summary. Northwest Warriors with 180 for 7 off their 20 overs. We're looking forward to seeing how the Leinster Lightning get on when they start their run chase in about 10 minutes' time. But from Craig Senior, John Kenny and myself, we'll say goodbye for now and look forward to your company as we move through the day at this Rario T20 Championship Series. Bye for now. And you're welcome back to the Mardyke in Cork for this Rario T20 Interprovincial Series. We're halfway through the third match of this week's entertainment, and it's the Northwest Warriors taking the field to defend their 180-7 against Leinster Lightning. So Lightning need to score at just over 9 and over, and the sun is breaking through.
Yes, a beautiful afternoon in prospect here at the Mardyke. The Leinster Lightning again chasing a sizable total, not as big as yesterday's chase. They're going about it slightly differently. Well, new opening pair. Tim Tector opening with Mark Donegan today. And it'll be interesting to see how they go about this chase.
Donegan, who scored a nice 50 yesterday against the Northern Knights in that massive run chase. They were chasing well over 230 and fell over 70 runs short. Today, a much more obtainable target of 180. We'll see in the next couple of hours if they can do it. And very interestingly, it's Cian Robertson who is opening the bowling for the Warriors. One of their best bowlers in his 2 matches so far, with his left arm spin. Very interesting opening.
Well, if memory serves, Northwest Warriors started with spin yesterday as well. It worked for them on that occasion.
Well, that's a big 6 into the pavilion, well held by one of the squad players for the Warriors. Fine strike, that.
Fine catch.
It's actually Seamus Lynch who's at the crease, not Mark Donegan. Number 32, Seamus Lynch. So it is the same opening partnership as yesterday. Just a little bit of confusion. That kept very low, and it's out. Breakthrough from Robertson. Variable bounce in this wicket, and that was an absolute snorter. The Lightning lose a wicket with the third ball of their reply. It's 6 for 1, and Lynch has to go.
Well, it was a glorious 6 the ball before, but this one didn't get up at all. Hit him down near the ankles, and the umpire, very little hesitation, stuck up the finger, and Lynch is on his way, and the Northwest have the start they wanted.
It's not a crucial blow for the Lightning, but it's not what they would have hoped for. They would have liked to have got to the end of the power play with maybe just 1 wicket down. But here they are in the opening over, and Robertson has the breakthrough. This player of tremendous promise. And it's Adam Rossley who has come out to join skipper Tim Tector, who is yet to face a ball.
Well, not the start the Leinster Lightning were looking for at all. But it brings Adam Rossley to the wicket. Left-hand, right-hand combination now will cause its own difficulties for the bowlers.
Beautifully flighted delivery, beating the outside edge of Rossley's bat. Wicket down in the first over. I'm surprised there isn't a slip in. Shane Getgate deciding to go for a more conventional field. Oh, that one's chipped just past the bowler. Errant shot from Rossley. And the Lightning starting very nervously indeed.
Well, Cian Robertson, he tossed that one up, and you could see he was trying to change direction in mid-air to get his hand up for that one, but there was just enough on it to keep Adam Rossley at the wicket.
Tector on strike for the first time. Forward defensive, conventional shot, straight to point. And that is some opening over. A beautiful 6, a wicket, and a scare. And we've only had 1 over, it's 7 for 1.
Well, the highlight of that over for me wasn't the wicket or the 6, it was the catch of the 6 by the gentleman in front of the pavilion. It's one of the cleanest catches we've seen in the last couple of days. It just goes to show Anything can happen in this game. 7 for 1, off 1. Adam Rossley now will be facing the bowling from the Mardyke Walk.
Ryan Macbeth is the man. Very good medium pacer. A real white ball specialist. And he'll be bowling to the left-hander Rossley, and Getgate is in at slip. And that beats the outside edge, and that's Macbeth going down in the follow-through. He seems to have twisted himself as he followed through there.
Seemed to go over on his ankle. Lost his footing at the delivery. Seems okay now, nothing too bad. Sometimes the best thing you can do when you start feeling those ligaments going is to get down to ground as quickly as you can, and that's what he did, and possibly saved himself. If he tried to take a step, he may have done more damage, but as it is, he gets up, and all that stretching pre-game pays off. Just enough flexibility in the ligament.
Beautiful stroke, square of the wicket on the offside. Classic cover drive from the lefty, and Adam Rossley gets off the mark. In fact, goes to 5 with that boundary.
Well, we were talking earlier about the scoops and paddles and all the new T20 shots that are now in cricket, but sometimes you just can't beat a classic MCC coaching manual shot, and that's what that was. Gave himself room, flow of the bat. Seems to have lost a stud perhaps, handing it over to the umpire, but that was a classic shot and it brought the same result, 4 runs, and I'd say Adam Rossley will feel a lot better now. One right out of the middle.
There's no cover fielder on the offside for Adam Rossley. Both the fielders outside the circle were on the leg side, one at backward square leg, one at long leg. Single there for Rossley, bringing the score to 11 for 1.
Just cut that one away nicely behind point. The fielder was there but didn't take it cleanly, and Tim Tector, reading the game perfectly, realised he could get down the other end, and it gives Macbeth now a right-hander to bowl at.
Played straight to a deepish mid-on. Tector scampering through, would have been close had it hit the wicket, but he gets off the mark with a single.
Aaron Gillespie doing a fabulous job of backing up there, making sure no overthrows at all.
Good to see that Macbeth seems to be none the worse for that little tumble earlier in the over. Rossley on strike this time. Turned into a vacant mid-wicket area for a single. Sensible batting, that's what Leinster Lightning require in these opening overs. Keep that wicket number down and give themselves a chance later to chase the runs.
Well,
that wraps Tector on the pads, and the decision is not out from our English umpire, Sam Hollingshead. Must have been close.
well many thanks to the stats guru that is Jer Siggins. That spell from Barry McCarthy in the first innings, 4 for 12 from his 4 overs. The cheapest forfeit in our interprovincial history. Well, interprovincial 20 history. It may have been better in the 50 over game.
He truly is a legend of Irish cricket, and I'm not talking about Barry McCarthy.
No.
Jer Siggins, everybody's favourite stat man. So Rossley's on 7, Tector's on 1. It's 14 for 1 after 2 overs. And that one over from Robertson, which saw the breakthrough, is all that he's going to get for now. It's Jared Wilson who's going to bowl from the Sunday's Well end. And that's a nice shot from Rosty, but what a piece of fielding. That was quite superb. Backward point gets the congratulations of his teammates.
Well,
saving a boundary there.
It's not often you get three teammates coming over to you just for a piece of fielding, but that was absolutely superb. Athletic fielding, but also his throw in backed up as well.
Played to short third and a single for Rossley as Tector backs up well.
Well, the Leinster Lightning are determined to take all the singles they can. Just building here now. Tim Tector's been in from the start, and although there have been 14 balls, only 3 of them have been faced by Captain Tim Tector.
And that's beautifully hit with a straight bat down the ground, one bounce into the side screen. Tector with his first boundary of the innings.
Again, a super cricket shot. Jared Wilson just played beautifully by Tector, finding the boundary.
And that's slashed away just wide of the outstretched hand of backward point. That was Shane. In fact, it was Scott Macbeth who was almost onto that. Couple of runs for Tector. 21 for 1 in the third over.
You have to say the Warriors are sort of sharp in the field at the moment. They're looking to defend this total. It does have the makings of a very good chase here now.
Shane Getgate just making a couple of adjustments to the field. He's dropped 2 men now deep on the leg side and brought in the cover. So nobody covering on the offside for Wilson. And Tector comes out and smashes it straight to cover. And that's a great bit of captaincy and bowling, feeding Tector that shot and hoping that he would go for the one over the top. And he's done just that, but he's holed out, and he's out for 7. And Lightning are 2 down for 21.
Well, he couldn't get underneath that one as he had previously. The previous one he put back to the sight screen, just getting underneath it and lifting it. This time he couldn't get the elevation, and he's hit it straight to the fielder who'd just been brought in from the boundary as they drop the leg side field out. And Tim Tector perishing into the plans of the Northwest Warriors. And 2 down now. 2 for 21. Nice catch by Aaron Gillespie. Not the most difficult or the showiest we've seen so far, but efficient. And it sends Tim Tector on his way.
And this is exactly what the Lightning didn't want as Greg Ford comes to join Adam Rossley at the crease. Early wickets, that's what caused them the problems yesterday, chasing down that massive total scored by the Knights. And today, a couple of early wickets in these opening 3 overs. Will it come back to haunt them? Play and a miss from Greg Ford. And Jared Wilson with the wicket. Very important for the Warriors. They're very much on top here, in control, as they try to defend their 180 for 7.
Well, there's a bit of a job here now for Rossley and Ford. Not only have they got to stop the fall of wickets, they've got to add some runs to this total, going along at 7 and over now.
Rossley on strike, nicely tucked to mid-wicket where McClintock is the fielder, just a single. The score moves to 22 for 2. And that'll bring Greg Ford on strike at this Sunday's well end of the Mardyke ground. Definite signs that the clouds are breaking up. Turn just wide of Zimmerman at backward square, and it's going to be a couple of runs here for the Lightning. Ford getting off the mark.
Well, he'll be pleased to get off the mark with that shot. It was just tucked off his hips. No need for anything too spectacular. And he managed to pick up 2 for that.
Good lift off that short ball from Ryan Macbeth through to wicketkeeper Doheny, who's standing a long way back. For those of you joining us late in this broadcast of the third match of 6 this week in the Rario T20 series, the bowlers from the Mardyke Walk end coming down the hill and with a little bit of a breeze behind them.
They seem to be getting lift with, or shall I say, less effort than when you're bowling going up the hill and against the wind. Then you really have to drop it in short to get the same lift, but from the Mardyke Walk end.
I think there's a problem here for Harry Zimmerman. He's going off the field, and maybe a 12th man will be coming on to replace him. He got hit in the head, if you remember, at the end of the Warriors innings, and maybe he's just feeling the effects of that now. Hopefully he'll be okay. Gavin Rolston has come on as 12th man, and he's fielding at backward square leg. So that's why the little delay there in the play in the middle of the 4th over of this reply by the Lightning.
Well, that may mean that Shane Getgate could be looking for another bowler. Zimmerman bowled for him yesterday, so he may have to rejig his resources.
Just past the outside edge of Ford's bat. Another good delivery from Macbeth. Bit of lift, bit of movement.
It's just enough to be causing the batsman real difficulties. You could see from the cry of anguish and sort of the on his haunches afterwards, imagining what could have been. It was that close to the off stump. Ford may be questioning his own judgment there, what to leave.
And Ford went for the big one there, but couldn't reach it because again Macbeth just dropped it in short of a length and got the ball to rise above the bat. That's great bowling.
Greg Ford is still in that initial period, judging the pace of the pitch and the bounce that's coming off it.
Again, no cover fielder in beyond the covers. The deep fielders are at mid-off and mid-wicket. And that is hit just short of mid-on. There'll be no run there. And that's the end of a very good over from Ryan Macbeth, who's gone for just 10 runs, I think it is, for his 2 wickets, for his 2 overs. Just 2 off that one.
Well, another good over for the Warriors. 4 down now. Just 24 on the board. Again, the Leinster Lightning, I think, have learnt from yesterday, and they're not going all out attack. They have lost 2 wickets, but you can see they're not trying to go for the big hit every shot. Yesterday they felt the pressure of the scoreboard and they never wanted to fall too far behind the rate. This time they're going along at a run and over at the moment, and that's quite sufficient. Certainly no need to panic.
Jared Wilson takes the wicket and gets taken off, as did Cian Robertson in the over before him from this Sunday's well end, and now it's Trent McKeegan coming on. Plenty of changes from Captain Getgate. Just a single there for Rossley to backward point. 25 for 2. The reply from the Lightning. Trent McKeegan, who got the man of the match. Not too many bowlers get man of the match awards, but he got one yesterday for his 4 wickets in the Warriors' win against the Reds. Nicely lifted up over the cover fielders that time by Ford. Not enough though to get to the boundary, just a couple for him.
Very intelligent batting though, realising that once he cleared the ring it was safe enough, and he managed to get it up and over. Didn't really hit it with power, but more with finesse. Picked up 2 for that. And again, it's a gradual accumulation.
And that one is not going to clear the field. And the catch is taken, a simple catch at cover. And Ford, going for the big one, has perished. A 3rd wicket falls for the Lightning in the 5th over, as the Warriors are completely on top here. Ford is out for 4. And it's 27 for 3.
It's the fall of wickets. They're not developing any partnerships here. And once the Northwest Warriors keep taking wickets on a regular basis, they're going to stay on top. This one here, getting high on the bat. You can see the bottom hand coming off with the shot. In fact, the batsman's best hope there was that the 2 fielders would collide. It wasn't to be. And now we see Mark Donegan entering the fray.
Donegan, who was the top scorer for Lightning yesterday in the chase against the Knights. Yesterday they won the toss. They put the Knights in and couldn't chase down a massive score. Today, again, Tim Tector won the toss, put the Warriors in, and that total of 181 required is looking a long way off at the moment.
Certainly is. Mark Donegan is the next bat. He's been batting very well for the Leinster Lightning this year. But he comes in now, and his side are in a bit of trouble.
So Shane Getgate has used 3 different bowlers from this end and has taken 3 wickets from 3 different bowlers from this end so far, and I can only describe that as enterprising and creative captaincy.
Inspired.
And he's now moved into slip for the arrival of the left-hander Donegan. McKeegan has his 5th wicket of this series, in just his 5th over.
Well, he's certainly enjoying Cork so far. What I really want, though, is a 2nd win for the Northwest Warriors.
Sensible shot from Donegan, getting bat on ball, playing it straight to Macbeth at point. Breeze continuing to blow into McKeegan's face as he comes up the hill to see if he can get the wicket of Mark Donegan. Oh, that just missed the stumps. Quick run from Rossley, who was backing up. Inside edge off the bat of Mark Donegan, and he survives, but only just.
Another one that didn't really get up off the pitch, and the variable bounce, if anything, has been more pronounced today than it was yesterday, and it certainly caused a few batsmen from both sides a few problems.
Good shot by Rossley. Mistake in the field by McClintock, who's furious with himself, but just a single to the Lightning, so nothing massive done there by McClintock. The score moves to 29 for 3 after 5. Rossley has moved to 11. Donegan on 1. The Warriors very much on top with 1 over left in the power play.
Yes, it's that time-old question that non-cricket watchers winning. Who's winning? It's always the question of the game of cricket. Well, it's very rare to be able to say who is winning, but at the moment it certainly appears like the Warriors are the team on top. They'll be looking for more of the same from their bowlers. And the Leinster Lightning, well, they're going to have to put together a partnership or two here to get them even close to this target, up at 180s.
So Macbeth, none for 10 in his 2 overs, has given way to Jared Wilson, who's coming down the hill now. Wilson, who took the wicket of Tim Tector in his last over, has the help of the hill and the breeze for this, his 2nd over.
I think it's also worth mentioning, certainly at the Leinster side, with the established internationals and not playing, etc., that the average age of the Leinster squad here in Cork is just 23. It's more like they're playing in the J.S. Siggins Trophy, the under-23s. But it's great to see as well that these youngsters are getting to see what it takes to step up to this level, to go beyond club level.
Oh, brilliant throw. The finger is raised. It's a run out. Donegan perishes on a magnificent piece of fielding. And it's 4 down now for the Lightning. 29 for 4 in the 6th over. And if they don't get a wicket with the ball, they're getting it in the field. This has been a wonderful start for the Warriors.
Their ground fielding has been good. They've been busy. They've been encouraging. And on this one, it's a superb piece of throwing because he only has the one stump to aim at. Rossley heads off straight away. He takes aim, and there, with one stump to hit, he sends them spread eagled and sends Donegan on his way. Donegan out for just 1. And now the Leinster Lightning find themselves deep in a hole.
Yes, an innings that just hasn't got going. A wonderful 6 in the opening over, followed by the wicket of Seamus Lynch, who was LBW to Robertson. And then Tim Tector, Cork Gillespie bowl Wilson for just 7. Greg Ford out off the bowling of McKeegan for 4. And now Donegan, top scorer yesterday, gone with that magnificent piece of fielding by Scott Macbeth, throwing the stumps down. He's out for 1.
Sam Harbison is the next Leinster batsman to come out to the middle. And finds his side, well, staring down the barrel, as they say.
Getgate has moved himself into slip. Great delivery, great lift and movement from Wilson.
Well, you can hear the volume in the field turned up as the Northwest Warriors, well, a run out like that really lifts a fielding team.
And the ground fielding has been excellent for them throughout. Harbison just managing to keep that one out. A man from Western Australia, but with an Irish passport, who has come over here to continue his cricket education. Lovely delivery. Beats the outside edge. It's the Warriors completely on top. And after 6 overs here. 29 for 4, the Lightning reply, chasing 181 for victory. Jared Wilson with 1 for 7 off his 2 overs. Bowling figures looking very good for the Warriors all through. Robertson 1 for 7, Macbeth none for 10 off 2, Wilson 1 for 7 off his 2 overs, and McKeegan 1 for 5. And he's going to continue. Trent McKeegan is going to continue from the Sunday's Well End as I welcome back John Kenny to the commentary box. Hello, John.
Hello, Stephen. McKeegan man of the match yesterday. Continuing now from the Sunday's Well End. Sun is starting to peek through here. It's still a bit breezy, blowing across the ground. Wind's direction has changed a little bit too. It's gone from left to right. It's blowing right to left this morning. But the Warriors will be cock-a-hoop. Oh, what a catch
what a
that
catch.
is. A backward point. Brilliant.
It just seems that everything they touch turns to gold. The Warriors fielding and bowling quite brilliantly. It's 5 down now.
McKeegan continues in that rich vein of form. It's his second wicket. And back to the hutch. And Adam Rossley. Third man in. The fifth man out. And here it is again.
Well, the ball got up off a length. It looked like he'd kept it down. But watch this. That's a fantastic catch. Low down. Clutched with both hands. And, well, we've just seen a 6 or 7 overs from 6.1 overs from the Warriors that has been out of the top drawer of how you bowl and field in this format of cricket. And you have to say as well that the captaincy of Shane Getgate has been superb. He's used his bowlers with great enterprise and invention, and the Warriors have given the Lightning a bit of a lesson so far. But it's not all over. Still a long way to go.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'd say it's a long way to go for Leinster. Scott Macbeth certainly in this game, throwing down the stumps of Mark Donegan for 1, and that brilliant catch at backward point off McKeegan's bowling to get rid of Rossley for 11. The only player in double figures. They're chasing 187 for victory. It's a long way back to the top. If you want to rock and roll, Leinster Lightning.
Well, that last catch was something very special.
Worth the admission price alone, eh, Steve?
I'd say so. Scott Macbeth, he's had a run out and a catch for the ages, and we've only started this reply.
If you on hand as the new batsman, big, tall, stocky bowler, can bat a bit too. We know that this is part of the test side. Gets himself off the mark immediately with a couple. Pumped into the covers.
Yes, and will be happy to get some bat on ball and just feel his way into this innings, which he hope will be a lengthy one. It needs to be if his side aren't to be humiliated here. McKeegan with 2 for 7 in his second over. I was saying he got four wickets and 4 overs yesterday. He's got 6 now in his 6th over in this format. It's been a great start to the Rario T20 campaign for him.
We were saying in the first innings for the Warriors just how much of a cohesive unit the Leinster Lightning seemed to be today, and then it all started to unwind towards the latter part of their innings, the Warriors' innings. Very sloppy fielding, and we know that the field out there isn't the best. It bobbles and it's a few humps and things, so the ball can come at you and rear up at you unexpectedly. But there's some really poor fielding for them, and now it's continued the same vein in their batting.
Not a bad shot there from hand, but just a single. Really, Leinster Lightning just need to take it ball by ball, try at least to bat the 20 overs, see where that gets them. If nothing, it's good experience in the middle ahead of tomorrow's game. Still a long way to go in this series. Oh, that came off the glove, I think, just wide of Getgate in the slip. A run for Harbinson, who gets off the mark. Little bit of width there from McKeegan. That's the end of the over. 7 gone. 36 for 5. Well, this is the third game of this 6-game series here in the Mardyke. So far we haven't had an exciting conclusion. Munster Red set too low a total for the Northwest Warriors to chase, and then in the second game the Knights spanking a massive score that the Lightning couldn't chase. We thought this might be a gettable target of 181.
Change
so
of bowling.
far,
Sorry, change of bowling. Scott Macbeth on at the far end, having been magnificent in the field. It's a loose one to start. And Fionn just nicked that one around the corner for his opening boundary.
We were saying earlier, John, that Zimmerman has gone off the field. Oh, it's a wicket. Macbeth has got a wicket. It's Hand trying to do a reverse sweep down to the offside, but he has missed the ball, and the 6th wicket for the Lightning has fallen with just 7.2 overs gone. 40 for 6 now, and Hand trudges back for 6.
That was a poor shot. He only just got in, hit a 4 around the corner from Macbeth's bowling, and just look at this, he just tried to reverse the hands and whip it into the offside. Missed it completely. That's poor. Macbeth will be delighted with that. Takes the wicket, having been nudged for 4, and with the run out and the catch as well. It's good fielding, good all-round performance so far from Scott Macbeth so far for the Warriors. What did he score? Macbeth, well, he only got 3 sadly in his innings, so maybe Shane Getgate at 56 and Stephen Doheny with his 33, William McClintock with those big hitting 34s before he was out for 34 off just 13 deliveries. Might be in contention for man of the match so far.
Gavin Hoey is the new batter for Leinster Lightning.
Could be a very early second lunch.
Gets off the mark with a single to the subfielder Gavin Ralston at backward square. So 2 new batters at the crease. We've been saying that since the start of this innings.
Just the one batter as well, gone past or into double figures. Off the mark.
Harbinson moves to 5. Hoey on strike on 1.
He's been elevated up the order. Barry McCarthy was due next in. McCarthy, you'd think, would come in after Gavin Hoey, and then Amish Sidhu, who looked good yesterday, came in at number 10. Didn't stay very long. He didn't actually lose his wicket. But some nice strokes. And then Mike O'Reilly.
And that one down the leg side, signalled wide. That's going to be 5-2 the total. And every crumb of comfort that Leinster Lightning can get, they'll take, thank you. 47 for 6. Who would have thought it on a day like this?
Warriors asked to bat this morning. Leinster Lightning were obviously hoping with the overcast conditions and the wind going across the ground that they'd restrict them to a smaller total than 187, but McClintock really put acceleration into their innings. 4 sixes and 1 over. Tells its own story. That's the end of that one. That's 8 down now, is it?
It's 8 overs gone, yeah.
Yeah, 47 for 6.
Yeah, we got the news from one of the great legends of Irish cricket that Barry McCarthy has broken the record for the cheapest forfeit in T20 cricket at this level in Irish cricket. The great Ger Siggins texted Craig earlier, 4 for 12. That's the cheapest forfeit.
4 overs, 1 maiden, 4 for 12. Good effort from McCarthy. And Irish selectors will be happy to see that one too.
So back comes Cian Robertson, who bowled the very first over, got the wicket of Seamus Lynch after he was hit for a 6. And just a single for Harbinson.
These two have to rebuild here, build some kind of platform, but they're running out of overs. Still only on 48, and we're in the 9th. Chasing down that 180 plus.
181 required. It's a long way away. But the Lightning need to readjust here. They need time in the middle just to get their confidence back, even if it is the bottom half of the order. Oh, there's a wicket.
Oh dear.
Hoey coming down the track and beaten by the flight of Robertson, who gets that little bit of turn and a nice bit of wicket keeping by Stephen Doheny. So this disaster for the Lightning continues. 7 down now in just the 9th over.
48 for 7. They were 27 for 2. Then they lost wickets at 27, 29, 29, 40 and 48. Gavin Hoyt, the latest one to go. Only one so far into double figures, and that was Adam Rossley. And obviously, having lost a lot of their international players, like since the Irish captain Bob Burney et al., it's affected the balance of this side. And they were well beaten yesterday, and looks like they're going to heavy defeat again today. So their chances of winning this particular IP20 series festival probably gone now at this stage. And obviously they'll be looking at trying to win the title back from the Munster Reds, who's won it last year. But that's a long way off now too, but these big heavy defeats are on their way to a heavy defeat here with just 3 wickets left.
In comes Barry McCarthy, the man who was so successful with the ball and probably kept the Lightning in the game. 4 for 12 off his 4 overs. We know he can smash it a long way. I'd say he might just have a go here. Nothing to lose.
No. Immediately off the mark. There's their man back there. Will they come back for the second? No, just a single.
1-2 McCarthy off the mark with a very conventional shot. Good to see. Great fielding in the covers, saving the run.
Ryan Macbeth getting involved in the act with the brother Scott. Diving away to his left-hand side. Most important thing is didn't concede a run, didn't let the ball get behind him. Close.
The Warriors are making fielding look easy, where everybody else has found it difficult, and that's a measure of their quality and their attention to detail and the way they're executing everything about this game.
49 for 7 off 9 now. That's nice, pleasant weather now here. Time to take the jacket off. It's starting to brighten up. That's a very sad-looking card, isn't it?
6, 7, 11, 4, 1 and all the rest.
Hardly worth bothering with, to be quite honest.
Snick from McCarthy to McClintock, who's fine at third man. McCarthy moves to 2. Harbinson comes back on strike. And he pulls that away into the gap between the 45-degree man and the man at square leg for a boundary.
Yeah, nicely played. Just use the speed of the ball down the leg side just to ease it round the corner. As soon as it picked up speed, rushed away down to the boundary and away to our left-hand side. They're just moving now the short third a bit finer.
Only the second player to get into double figures for the Lightning. Full toss there from Macbeth, but Harbinson couldn't quite get there. Off the toe end to the covers. And that's smashed away backward of point and away to the boundary. One of the shortest boundaries here in the Mardyke. Another boundary for Harbinson.
Yeah, well, that's one of the best shots of the day, actually, that one. Just led back to very nicely open the face of the bat. Cracked it away behind square, and the 2 fielders down there with no chance of cutting that off. But they need a lot more of that.
And that one's found the gap too.
Done him again. Same place, same shot. Fine shot. Couple of back-to-back boundaries. Put a smile on Harbinson's face.
All of a sudden he's top scorer. Expensive over this from Scott Macbeth, who's been quite outstanding in the field.
Dropped it in short to end that over. So 10 down. And they're 62-7, having been the winners of the toss this morning. Tim Tector decided to put the Warriors in. Might have regretted that now. Lynch gone for 6, Tector for 7, Rosalie, Donegan, Ford, all back in the hutch. Fionn Hand only lasted for 6. One of those was a 4. Barry McCarthy in now that Gavin Hoey has departed. They've just got a couple of wickets left. McCarthy in at 9, then Amos Sidhu and Mike O'Reilly to wrap things up, chasing 181. It's an awful long way off.
And Ryan Macbeth is going to come on at the Sunday's well end, trying his luck from this camera end of the ground to bowl to McCarthy. After 10 overs, the Warriors were 67 for 3. Runs wise, it's not bad, but the problem for the Lightning is they just lose too many wickets. They can't seem to get any partnerships going. Maybe they can do it here. Lifted nice and gently towards the cover fielder, who's Gavin Ralston. Just a single there for McCarthy.
McCarthy's going to have to try and give a lot with a strike to Harbinson now. 18 from 13 deliveries. He's got 4 fours to his name as well. Out there for 20 minutes. He's got to stay there. Both of them trying to get it total. And it's gone down the leg side. It should be 5 wides. That'll help.
Another crumb of comfort for the Lightning, who I'm sure these two haven't given up completely, but really they just want to try and spend some time in the middle.
Well, this is what happened this last delivery. Straying down the... Oh, that's the previous delivery.
Harbinson getting the single to McClintock at backward square leg. Problem for Getgate here is that with the injury to Harry Zimmerman, he's down a bowler. But with all these wickets already registered, it probably won't make any difference. That's a great delivery.
Just over the top of off stump. That's the corridor of uncertainty that you should be bowling at this and a medium pace. Was it that hit on the head that knocked Zimmerman out?
Well, we think so. He went off after spending a little bit of time in the field. Hopefully he'll be okay later.
I know Fionn Hand has shipped a bit of a toe injury as well. They were looking for ice. McCarthy swings and misses. They're looking for ice in the dressing rooms in between innings. So hopefully he's okay too.
Ryan Macbeth, one of the most experienced bowlers in this Northwest Warriors side. Really skids the ball through. And nicely played by McCarthy. Just the single.
Been in good form recently, McCarthy. With the bat. And obviously today, taking 4 for that new record. Just 12 conceded, 1 maiden in his 4. Unusual in this version of the game to bowl a maiden.
A double wicket maiden, which is about as rare as you ever get in a T20. Macbeth just lost his stride there, so we'll have to do it all again. 1 more ball left in this, his 3rd over. Harbinson on 19, McCarthy on 4. Lightning trying to at least make the scoreline acceptable. These two having come in together at 48. Oh, that's straight up in the air, but it's...
Should be
Is
out.
it over the wicketkeeper? No, he's got it. It's another wicket. Harbinson with the top edge. Macbeth has got his first wicket of the afternoon, and it's 8 down now for the Lightning. 70 for 8 after 11 overs.
And the partnership of 22, such as it is, between Harbison and McCarthy, and it hardly makes a dent in the reply. Easy catch in the end. And a disappointed Sam Harbison departs. And there's going to be Amish Sidhu who's going to join Barry McCarthy in the middle, but the rights are written on this one, really. Game should be over pretty quickly.
Yes, just Sidhu and Mikey O'Reilly to come. And the Warriors are probably wondering how easy this has all been. They certainly wouldn't have expected it. Chased a low total yesterday, have defended a good total today. They look like they mean business this week. But of course this series spread over 3 festivals, over 3 months, so form can change quite rapidly.
Possibility that Leinster could lose 3 games here, and that would certainly knock them out of contention.
Scott Macbeth continuing against McCarthy, who gets the single to deep cover.
Just Mikey O'Reilly to come. With the departure of Harbinson, McCarthy is the senior batsman out there now, so Sidhu will try and give as much strike as he possibly can. And you were asking a while ago, does McCarthy throw the bat at it now? This probably is the time for him to do that. See what may.
Macbeth causing Sidhu all sorts of problems. In fact, it's my apologies, it's Cian Robertson who's bowling from the Mardyke Walk end. He would cause any batsman problems, he's so good. Turned around the corner by Sidhu. Gets him off the mark. Robertson with 2 for 10 in his 2.3 overs so far. And that's smashed away by McCarthy over extra cover for 6. First sign we've seen of the big hitting of the Pembroke player.
I told you he wasn't going to hang around. No point. Get his eye in, get a few runs. Probably a lost cause now at this stage. That was a cracking shot.
Yeah, they've got the ball. It disappeared into that hedge by the pedestrian entrance here at the Mardyke. Lovely old cricket ground. And hopefully before the end of this week we'll get one of those thrillers where it all goes down to the last ball, but it certainly won't be today.
Well, it might be. We haven't done the match to come yet. But it won't be in this one.
Well, indeed. Good point. 1 to McCarthy.
Knights against the Reds up at 3:30. Might get an elongated break here for ourselves, which would be nice. Taking a bit of sunshine. Just go for a little snooze maybe. Get things ready for the second match.
You do like your snooze.
Oh, I like my sleep.
Robertson completing his third over. 2 for 17 for the youngster. And the Warriors completely on top. 79 for 8 after 12.
$102 needed now from 48. You would think, yeah, that's not unreasonable, but they're 8 down. You don't want wickets in hand to chase down that target.
Jared Wilson coming on from the Mardyke, from the Sundrive. Sunday's well.
Sunday's
Sundrive.
Sundrive.
Sunday's
That's a
well
gimmick, isn't it?
end
Crumlin.
of the ground. Indeed. Indeed. What will McCarthy do here? Smash!
You know what he's going to do. He gets any opportunity, he's going to go for it. Big 6th swung through the line, up and over the clubhouse, and 6 for the big hitting Barry McCarthy.
That was at least 90 yards of carry. It was a huge hit. I don't even know what exists over there.
Oh, they used to do the beat in the streets back there. Did you know that? Back in the 90s. We used to have the beat on the streets, 2FM, only the River Lee down here. 35,000 people would turn up to see 2FM idiot DJs dancing, including myself. But we had the best fun. But down here, that's exactly where it used to happen. Played the RT cricket team a couple of times down here. Beautiful ground. Played North Kerry and the Cork Taverners. Beat them both, which is very pleasing. And new balls again, please. This time the first one we've seen disappearing over the clubhouse.
Yep, we've lost a few so far this week, and we will lose plenty more. And for any of you who are in the vicinity of the Mardyke Cricket Ground in Cork, why not come along this afternoon?
Help us find the balls.
Yeah, you can act as
as
voluntary
volunteer.
ball boys and ball girls. We're looking for people. Paul Reynolds has found a ball that suits his pleasure. I'd say Jared Wilson will be steaming in here. He won't want to go for 2 6s in a row.
Reynolds handing over to Seaver, who is standing. And there's McCarthy again going big. And another 6. Huge. Didn't quite get all of that, but enough carry to take it over for the second consecutive boundary. Hang around, folks. This is going to be fun.
24 off 11 deliveries now for McCarthy with a couple of 6s. Shane Getgate reappraising his field, but there's not much you can do if the ball sails over the ropes. 91 for 8 in the 13th over. They're halfway to the target.
He's got a century to his name in 50 overs. That's Barry McCarthy, so he can bat, we know that.
He's in danger of getting man of the match for his 4 for 12 and
24. You'd have to give a man of the match to a winning output team.
Well, I know, but hey.
But still, look, you know, these
a good
stranger
effort.
things have happened. 46 remaining. They need 90. There's only 2 wickets left. But he's going about this now in a big way.
And that's cracked away to the covers, and a good save there on the boundary. Just a couple this time for McCarthy.
Cameron Melly doing the fielding on the boundary, preventing the 4 runs. Crucial in this form of the game. Save runs as much as you possibly can. Could make a difference in the end. So wide.
That's wide of the stumps.
Just a little fearful of McCarthy getting bad on the ball again.
87 to win of 45 deliveries, and as long as McCarthy is there, it'll be fun.
Wind has changed direction again. It's coming from right to left now. Another wide.
Well, Wilson's trying to avoid McCarthy getting anywhere near his deliveries, but he'll have to bowl nearer the stumps than that. Long over this.
There's 2 blue lines you can see, which is the area just in front of the stumps, either side of them, which is the area which is known as the umpires. He owns them. McCarthy goes to the big one, misses. But anything outside that, especially in one day and T20 cricket, wouldn't happen in the test match. They give them a bit more leeway. But anything outside those blue lines you can see is generally considered to be wide. In fact, down the leg side, anything down the leg side really that's moving away, even if it's inside the blue line, is given a wide as well. So there's a lot of margin for error.
And he's got his bat onto that one, but there is a man at backward point on the boundary. Just a single for McCarthy this time, with just 1 ball remaining in the over, and that will mean a big field change here from Shane Getgate as they come in to put some pressure on Amish Sidhu. 96 for 8. 12.5 overs gone.
I'll sound of music drifting across the ground from somewhere. We can see you can't see it in your shot there, but away to our right hand side, the Munster Reds are lining up there. And now with their compatriots, the Northern Knights, for the second game, which is a 3:30 start. But there's music drifting across the ground. Good festival feel here.
Swing and a miss from Sidhu. The end of a very lengthy Jared Wilson over. 1 for 24 after his 3. 96 for 8 the score. 13 gone. 7 to go. I shall leave you in the capable hands of John and Craig.
.93 for 8 at the end of 13. Barry McCarthy on 27 off 14. A couple of lusty blows. Sidhu at the other end. Yet to get off the mark. Hasn't seen much of the ball either. Keane Robertson and the umpire and Shane Getgate all getting together at the far end. So Robertson coming back on now from the Mardyke walk end. Craig, this is the conclusion of it, the first match. 7 overs to go. They need 85, 42 balls remaining, and you'd say if there was, like, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 down, that they'd have an excellent chance of winning. But with just the 2 wickets left, well, certainly it's in the Warriors. But that's up in the air, and McCarthy should be out. He's gone for the big one. Caught. Down at long, on, moving away to his right-hand side. That's the end of McCarthy. Gone for 27 off 14. Little cameo, and that should be that.
Well, most certainly the last of the big hitters for the Leinster Lightning. It's a super catch. McCarthy chasing after runs at that stage. It was a nice cameo. 27 from 15. Included a few lusty blows. But ultimately, he perishes. And with 9 down now. Well, it's only a matter of time. At one stage there, when the wickets were tumbling, I was wondering if I was going to be required in the box again. I thought it would all be done by 13, but McCarthy came out. Nice cameo, but nothing really more than that.
We'll be going through our player of the match momentarily. If he'd gone on to win, Barry McCarthy certainly would have been a huge contender there, taking 4 for 12 in his bowling spell. But you should really give a man of the match to the winning side.
Traditional, really, isn't it? And also Shane Getgate's half century, the only half century of the game. And it enabled his side to set this total. Mikey O'Reilly from the YMCA club in Dublin. He comes out as number 11. And my goodness, it's a big job ahead of him if he to get through this. It's been a very good all-round performance from the Northwest Warriors. They went about their batting in the right way. They laid a foundation and it let them push on to that huge total. Their fielding has been good. And their bowling has been spot on. Shane Getgate's done a fine job as captain. The only thing he's done wrong today so far is lose the toss. And he might even claim that that's worked out best for him as well.
Robertson, remembers, taking 4 for here as well. It's 3 for, actually, my apologies. 3 for 18. Cracking 3.4 overs.
Cracking shot from Amish Sidhu. Nice drive through the covers. It's chased down. He picks up 2 for that. Well, more a matter of personal pride for these two now. It's in the air.
That's it. Done and dusted. Sidhu, little pop up in the air. Easy catch, and that wraps things up, and it's all over. Beaten comprehensively all out for 99. Leinster Lightning go down to their second defeat. And delight for the Warriors. 2 out of 2 for them. Having lost the toss, they were asked to bat this morning. They made 180 and then bowl Leinster Lightning out for a mere 99. This is the final wicket to fall.
Well, you can see he's tried to flick it round to the leg side, and it's just popped up on the offside, and it's a nice simple diving catch, if any diving catch is simple. And that was enough to secure the 10th wicket, and it's been a great all-round performance from the Northwest Warriors. They will go into their lunch with their second day's game 1, and feeling very happy with the way this festival is running for them at the moment. They do say you learn more from losing than you do from winning, in which case the Leinster Lightning will be soaking up the knowledge. But a big win for the Warriors, 81 runs. And now we look forward to this afternoon's game. 3:30 here, where we'll see the Munster Reds taking on the Northern Knights in game 4 of 6 here this week. But until then,
We'll have a look at the figures now shortly. There you go. There is the Northwest Warriors batting performance.
well, Shane Getgate providing the spine there, 55 from 34. But also a note for William McClintock. He came in and off only 13 balls hit 34, and that really pushed the total to 180, where the Leinster Lightning at that stage were looking at keeping them down to 160 or so. And you can see the good partnerships here. Good opening partnership of 41, Gillespie and Doheny. And then Getgate, Jared Wilson, very quickly in 37 balls, putting on 65. And then McClintock and Getgate, well, they only faced 20 balls as a partnership, but they still managed to put on 46, and that really took the score to a high level.
Leinster Lightning bowling, pick of the bunch, no doubt about it. 4 for 12 from Barry McCarthy. Fionn Hand chipped in with a a couple, 2 for 33, and the only other wicket to fall went to Sam Harbison.
Now, the Leinster Lightning card, not pretty reading, just 3 players and 1 extras getting into double figures, final total of 99. Top score of 27 from Barry McCarthy. He came out and played some lusty blows, including massive hit over the clubhouse, which is a delight to watch, but in the end it was too little. And distinct lack of partnerships here, the largest partnership being McCarthy and Sidhu. They faced together 13 balls and put on 26. All 26 scored by Barry McCarthy. He got 23 of them, 3 extras. But other than that, no real partnerships of note. And the Northwest bowling, well, they'll be delighted.
Yeah, good performance from Robertson. 4 for 20 over 3.5 overs. Couple for McKeegan as well, continue his fine form. Man of the match yesterday. And then the rest of them shared equally. Wilson, Ryan Macbeth and Scott Macbeth. Scott had a really good game here, and that's how we finished at the end of the 20 overs. Northwest Warrior 180 for 7, and poor Leinster Lightning didn't even make it to 3 figures. All out for 99 and 13.5 overs means the second victory for the Northwest Warriors and the second defeat for the Leinster Lightning. Second match today is the Knights against the Munster Reds. That'll start at 3:30 Irish time. Hope you can join us for that. If you want to find out who the player of the match is, we'll just check out the Cricket Ireland social media platforms where we will do the interview with the said winner. But for the moment, from myself, Craig and Stephen, it's bye for now.